Good morning. My name is Mark Quinn. I'm the Director of Security for Garland ISD. It is 11:31, and I would like to call the April 15th meeting of the GISD Safety and Security Committee to order. The Texas Legislature mandates every school district have a safety committee. Texas Education Code and Government Code 551 govern how this committee is run. At this time, do I have any public comments? No public comments. All right. Seeing that there's no, we'll move on straight to the agenda. So first I want to introduce our new security leadership. Since our last meeting, we have hired a new coordinator for armed security officers. That is James Ferguson, to my right. I want to read you a little bit of his bio, and then I will let him say a few words. I'm very happy to be reading this, be hired to hire James. James Ferguson retired from the Mesquite Police Department after 30 years of service. During his service, James worked numerous assignments and served in every bureau of the department. James served as a tactical officer where he conducted both entry and sniper operations. During his time on the SWAT team, James served as a team leader and a supervisor. As a supervisor on the SWAT team, James planned and supervised the execution of most tactical operations the SWAT team conducted. James was also responsible for planning training for both the sniper team and the entry team. Since the SWAT team was only a part-time team, James was able to work in other capacities in the department. James was assigned to the position of full-time range master for the department. During this time frame, James was responsible for conducting all firearms training for the police department, consisting of 230 sworn officers. James was also responsible for providing active shooter training as well as tactics training to the department. James served in this position for 10 years until he promoted to the rank of sergeant. After James promoted to sergeant, he spent some time in 2 other bureaus within the department. James was ultimately assigned back to the training division where he was training sergeant for the entire department. In this capacity, James was a supervisor over the range and was able to continue to assist with and implement better training for the department. Prior to the police work, James served in the United States Marine Corps as a field radio operator. I give you James Ferguson. Please say a few words.
Thank you for that introduction, Mark. And there we go. Yeah, thank you for that introduction. I'm just happy to be here.
That's all I get, huh? Okay. All right, now we will move to the 2025-2026 drill schedule. Give me 1 second here. There we go. So this is our proposed drill schedule for the 2025-2026 school year. All mandated drills have been covered. The one thing that we do in addition is the state only requires 1 secure drill. We do 2. We do 1 each semester. And as you'll recall, we've talked about this before, but the lockdown drills, the last few years we've implemented the way we run our lockdown drills. The police officers are the ones that respond. Our SROs with our three cities respond. We want those kids to see a police officer unlocking that door. So that's how we run our drills. We practice how we play. The police officers unlock the doors. The kids see the police officers because that's how it would be in a real incident. If a lockdown happened, you would have a police officer unlocking the door. So that's the way we want to run it. Everything else is pretty much standard as far as the training schedule for the drills next year. Fire every month, and then lockdown, secures, and holds. Any questions on the drills? Yes, sir.
I had a couple of questions from parents, and they were not really concerned, but interested as we start to put our fencing around the perimeter of the schools. Will that necessitate different type of drills or different type of procedures? That was the question.
It will not necessitate different type of procedures because on a fire evacuation or on a regular evacuation drill, they will immediately go outside, and then we will reassess if we need to do a relocation or something from that location. They would go to their specific evacuation site regardless of the fencing. So the fencing should play no role in that. Any other questions on drills? All right, let's move on. The next item is the TEA intruder detection audit. The top priority of Garland ISD and the state of Texas is keeping students and staff safe every day. The Texas School Safety Center recently conducted an intruder detection audit at one or more of our campuses. The audit tests whether a campus is accessible to an unauthorized individual. The audit seeks to help districts identify how campuses can improve safety for students, such as ensuring exterior doors are locked. The audit provides us with the opportunity to create a safer learning environment for our students and staff. We are working very closely with the School Safety and Security Committee to ensure that we are training all our staff and securing our doors for the protection of everyone on our campuses. The support from the state, including the intruder detection audits, is just one of the many actions we are taking to ensure our schools are safe. We know that this work does not end, and we appreciate the board support and the committee support. We acknowledge the parents and community members are likely very interested in the details of the audit results. However, it is in the best interest of the students that we do not share this information to the broader public, as it could lead to compromising important campus security information. Specific details of the intruder detection audit will be discussed in executive session of our Safety and Security Committee. Garland ISD is committed to providing a safe and secure learning environment for our students and staff. Now I want to talk a little bit about the district vulnerability assessment that we received from TEA a couple of months ago. Beginning in the 24-25 school year, a division of the Texas Education Agency called the Office of School Safety and Security conducted detailed vulnerability assessments at each Texas school district, including Garland ISD. This vulnerability assessment pertains to the facility access controls, emergency operations procedures, and other school safety requirements. After the vulnerability assessment was completed, TEA provided the superintendent with a confidential report on the results, including recommendations and required corrective actions. We acknowledge that parents and community members are very likely interested in the details of the assessment results. However, it is in the best interest of the students that we do not share this information to the broader public, as it could lead to compromising important campus security information. Specific details of the district vulnerability assessment will be discussed in executive session of the Safety and Security Committee. Garland ISD, again, is committed to providing a safe and secure learning environment for our students and staff. Now I want to talk a little bit about, I'll let Thomas here talk in just a second about systems. As you know, we are broken down into 3 divisions within security. We've got operations, we've got systems, which Thomas is the coordinator of, and then we've got armed security officers, which James is the coordinator of. Ops we've had since I've been here for a very long time. As you know, the ASO program was just created a couple of years ago. So we're still learning as we go, but we've created a good program. Operations is the backbone of security in the district. And I just wanted to read you just a few stats. Since the last time we met in this committee meeting, we have searched 16,832 students. That's random weapon searches in all of our middle school and high school campuses. So pretty much everywhere, every day in every school day in this district, we are running random searches at one of our campuses. We've conducted 951 campus visits during classroom hours. Now, this is just operations. This has nothing to do with the ASOs yet. We've run 6,192 property checks. Those are property checks after hours, once the kids are gone. That's into the evening hours and the deep night hours. We've responded to 146 prop alarms. Those are prop doors. As we've discussed before in here, our dispatch, we have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week dispatch center that anytime a door is propped open, it alarms and dispatch, so we know we have a prop door. So we go investigate that prop door, make sure that it's secured, and nothing, we take the prop out and make sure that everything is secured and locked up. Intrusion alarms, we've responded to 64 intrusion alarms. So that, again, is motion sensors. Something is tripping that alarm inside that building. We need to go find out what it is. Content keeper alerts. Content keeper, again, we've discussed it before, but we have the ability to monitor certain flag words that are searched by a student on a GISD computer or through the network. So those flag words pop up under a program called Content Keeper. So we've investigated 57 Content Keeper reports. That's usually us coordinating with the police departments and finding out what was searched, pulling that kid, finding out, if this is an actual threat, if this is something searched. We get a lot of stuff search for projects and stuff like that, but we want to verify that that's what that is and not a real threat. 34 suspicious vehicles we responded to, both during school hours and after school hours, all into the night, into deep nights. We're always responding to vehicles parked on our property that either someone calls in or as we're doing those deep night patrols, we see. And we investigate, and always, again, with the police department's help, we kind of find out what's going on with those vehicles. Criminal mischief and gang call and graffiti calls, we've responded to 12 of those. That number keeps going down because of the fact that we're so heavy on our deep night patrol, and obviously most of the graffiti happens in deep nights. Our deep night patrol is very thorough as far as checking all our campuses, walking campuses, driving all the parking lots, checking everything on our property to make sure everything's good to go for the next day. And then we've even responded to a burglary report. We actually have had a burglary that we responded to with PD's help, and that person actually was apprehended and charged with burglary. So those are just some of the stats that we've talked about in operations since our last committee meeting. Now I will kick it to Thomas Head. I think Thomas has got a couple of
Hey, Mark.
system stats.
Got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
For the content keeper, what were the majority of the words that you guys would trigger on, if you could share that?
It triggers on gun, it triggers on weapon, it triggers on bomb, it triggers on suicide, it triggers on shooting, anything violent related that we flagged, anything with self-help or self-harm that we have flagged, it triggers on all those. So I would say the main things are weapons-related searches that people have, that kids have searched. Yes, sir. Any other questions on any op stats before I kick it to Thomas? Good. All right. Thomas.
Good morning, everybody. Once again, I'm Thomas. I'm the coordinator of security systems. What me and my team specialize in are keeping our fire alarm systems safe, fire sprinkler, fire suppression, fire extinguishers, cameras, security systems, access control, Raptor, things like that. First, I want to start out with some personnel updates I have. First thing is, Cody Scott, which is one of our fire alarm technicians, he actually passed his fire extinguisher test as well recently, and he is now licensed in that as well. He was also awarded the Unity for Service Award by the Noon Exchange Club of Garland a few months ago for going above and beyond to help our kids in GISD. Jaime Slees was transferred to the security department to become a fire alarm technician, and he has passed his FAL test, and now he is licensed as a state of Texas fire alarm technician. So, inspections. One of our primary things we do on the fire side of things is we have to do annual inspections on pretty much all the systems we have. We have completed all the fire alarm and fire extinguisher inspections through March, and now we're working on April's as we speak. We are working on getting our fire sprinkler and backflow inspections caught up as well. With these, around the testing season, we get a little behind just because we have to get into every classroom, and sometimes it's just, we have to, play around with that. So, fire extinguishers, on a directive from the Fire Marshal's Office of Garland, we have been installing stickers on interior classroom doors, classrooms that are like science rooms and things that can have flammable items and stuff in them. We've been putting a sticker outside the door, so if there is an emergency and they need to know where a fire extinguisher is, we know, hey, this classroom has one, we can access this classroom if there's not one in the hallway that's easily accessible. We've done about 4 high schools, 4 middle schools, and a handful of elementary schools. Next thing I want to talk about is the SPAT grant that we were awarded. That is replacing about 65–70% of our PA systems throughout the district. Texas Fire is the contractor who was awarded that, and they have completed all of the middle school conversions. They did that during spring break, and they have completed about 9 elementary schools at this time. We plan on having all these done by the end of August. All the high schools will be transferred over, and about 18 more elementary schools. Before I continue, is there any questions about the SPAT grant update? Okay, thank you. Another project I want to talk about what we found during some of our inspections that we've done. South Garland High School, there was a few areas that had no prop alarms or motion intrusion sensors installed. We have completed that project. We did that in-house, and I believe it covered like the fine arts area, band hall, choir room, stuff like that. So now it's 100% covered with prop sensors and intrusion alarms. Last thing I want to touch about, winter weather. when it comes to winter weather, our fire sprinkler systems, we always have to wash them because when we have multiple days of cold weather, pipes can burst, right? We have been working around the clock during these winter snaps that we do have, and due to my team's dedication and commitment, we had no burst pipes this year on that side. So that's all I got. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thomas. All right.
Mark, a question for you on operations.
Yes, sir.
So, GISD in the past couple of years has done consolidations. Right now, 10 schools became 5. And one of the consolidations was Williams and Parkcrest, moving into Parkcrest and changing the name to Williams. Tell us what we're doing, because you gave me,
Sure.
you're nice enough to give me a tour of the Williams campus. What
I
we're
can do
doing
that. So we are in the final stages of converting the old Williams Elementary into a dedicated first responder training center on one half of the building, and then we're moving the security offices to the other half of the building. Like I said, we're in the final stages of that now. We should be moving in the next couple of weeks. The police departments have been training on their end for a couple of months now, and that building has become so in demand with first responders training, especially police departments. The calendar's filling up like crazy. It's just squeezing departments in to go to do a 2 or 3 day class is just, it's getting difficult for them to find days to train in because the calendar's filling up so well. It's literally, it is a school building built for a first responder response to a critical incident in a school. It's perfect for it. We have the classrooms set up like actual classrooms. We have desks and chairs, and we actually have students from Naaman Forest and I think South Garland High School that are decorating the rooms to actually make it even more like an actual classroom. So, and the kids are loving it. They've turned it into kind of a competition with who can decorate the rooms the best. So they've been there twice. I think they're coming a couple more times to finish the decorating. But it's just, I can't say enough cool things about it and great things about it. And the ability for the district to allow us to do this and push this out like this is just, it's amazing. I'm very excited about it.
And talk a little bit about more the way you can turn on the lights, turn off the lights, have sirens. When I was there, you had an announcement going on.
Yes, so we do have the ability to turn on our lockdown announcement just like we would in a normal campus. Obviously, it doesn't ring to dispatch like a normal one would, and we don't treat it like a normal lockdown like we normally would. But yes, just to throw that confusion or that added stress to a first responder, we're able to play the lockdown announcements. We're able to play a mock fire alarm. Obviously, again, it doesn't ring to the fire department, but we are able to turn the PA on. We can actually talk through the PA. We also have the ability through our camera system to be able to, after those first responders and police officers run a training evolution, they can come back to a room and actually watch a playback of their entries. So, you can't have anybody fudging on, I checked the hard corner. Well, no, you didn't, because here on the camera it says you didn't. So it's just, and we're tweaking it as we go. So it's just, like I said, I just can't say enough good things about it, the facility and what we're being able to do with it.
Thank you.
Any other questions on ops or systems or anything else? All right. So per Government Code 551, executive session is held for purposes permitted by the Texas Open Meetings Act, such as the presentation of information of a sensitive nature. Pursuant to Chapter 551.076, we will now ask visitors to exit the room and for the video to cease recording at this time so that the committee may discuss the district's TEA intrusion audits and the district vulnerability assessment. The time is now 12:13, and the executive session portion of the meeting is closed. All visitors who come back into the committee room. I certify that nothing was discussed in executive session that was not listed on the agenda. Are there any topics for future meetings that we need to discuss? All right. I would like to invite Dr. Lopez to give any closing comments he'd like to give.
Well, I just want to thank the entire committee for convening today. We went over some very important information. We have a new member to our committee. I think it's really exciting. We have the former mayor of Rowlett, Blake Margolis, here. Thank you for joining us. You know, safety and security of our Tri-Cities is monumental, and that's where it starts. And so we're going to continue to be vigilant. Our two trustees that are on board, our president, Robert Selders Jr., and Larry Glick, are really champions of safety and security, and they really want the safety not only of our students but our staff and everybody involved. So I thank all the departments, and I thank our own chief here, you know, Mark Quinn. He's doing a tremendous job. I want the public to understand that safety and security is now part of the measures that school districts are facing. It all started a long time ago with finance, with an A rating system. Then we went into academics. Now we're being rated pretty much on our safety and security systems. And so as times change, things will change. And, you know, by nature, security means inconvenience. So sometimes we're thinking like, why do we need this? Why do we need that? Why so inconvenient? Well, safety measures we have to be able to vet who is going in or out of our schools. And the only way to do that is by creating what I call roadblocks, right? And so you're filtering everybody through our vestibule system. The vestibule system started with the 2014 bond. It was a visionary initiative by the board. Not every school district has vestibules, and those that do don't have them as comprehensive as what we have right now, and we're continually to evolve. Door prop systems. There's just a plethora of different security systems that we have and that we're being measured by. And so to maintain those type of systems is critical. And I will say this, and I could publicly say this because it won't jeopardize the safety and security of our district, but when our auditor came from TEA, one of the things that he really was astounded by is we have a priority system for anything that is labeled safety and security for a school. So if a door isn't closing all the way and it's an exterior door, it's a safety and security protocol, it will be addressed within 24 hours. And it goes to the highest it circumvents everything. And so we do that. And he was amazed by how we created that system. And what I thought was most telling, you know, Mark was being very humble. The amount of systems that we have that they want to share what we're doing with other districts, because it's the systems and people that make things work. And so I really want everybody to understand we can have all the systems in the world, but if the people don't believe in it, it's hard to make those systems operate at optimum levels. But the second thing is, and everybody will tell you, the best thing to have for safety and security is a nosy neighbor. So those of you that are out there and you see something suspicious, let law enforcement know. We want people to feel uncomfortable doing things that we don't feel comfortable with, because then that will stop the behavior. If you turn a blind eye, people will catch on that too. So let's be the squeaky wheel. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lopez. We've now completed the scheduled order of business, and there are no further business for this assembly to consider at this time. I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you.